In today's video, I'm going to show you from scratch how to create your international channel. That is, how to move beyond your native language and create channels in other countries, even if you don't master or aren't fluent in the language. As I mentioned in most of my videos, I have 10 YouTube channels, 5 in Portuguese and 5 in English. But that's in the past now, because recently I created a channel in Spanish and a channel in German without speaking a single word of those languages, okay? You're gonna find out everything today, but comment below. Do you already have a Monetize YouTube channel, or are you still working towards the 4,000 hours and 1,000 subscribers? Leave your comment below. This video is amazing because I'm going to give you 2 premium pieces of content to complement this video. First, a mind map where I will reveal all the AIs I use for my channels in my native language, as well as the AIs I use for international channel. In other words, you'll be fully prepared to start your own channel, okay? So let's get right to it and start this video. The first thing, which I even wrote down in my notes here, is to research the name. I'm going to show you here, basically, look, this is my channel in Brazilian Portuguese. I don't know if you're watching now in Portuguese, English, Spanish, or German, but here you can see it says videos from Monday to Saturday. I just don't make videos on Sundays. Here, the channel name is Maker Academy iNews, and here it says, get to know the monetization master AI mentorship. Because in this case, in Brazilian Portuguese, there is a mentorship program, which in the future I will create in other languages. Then, if you look at the channel in English, you'll notice that the visual identity is the same, and the channel is called Daily Artificial Intelligence. When you're going to choose the channel name, you have to realize first that it shouldn't just be a literal translation, just like that, because depending on the country, the word you use in your country might not be the best word to use in another country. So what should you do? I'll tell you how I did it in just a moment, so relax. On my Spanish channel, which is just starting out, you can see there are 4 videos. It's really at the beginning. If you look here, there are 791 videos on the Portuguese channel. If you check the English channel, there are 423 videos. And you can see there are already videos here. I'll show you a bit more about that later. But look, the videos are already getting 7.6 thousand, 4.7 thousand, 4.1 thousand views. In Brazil, you can see there have already been videos that broke out of the bubble. 397,000, 371,000, 290,000, 120,000 views. Now, these channels I'm showing you here are just getting started, right? They started 3 days ago, right? So you can see here, look, actually, sorry, look, 2 days ago, and you can see it's already looking good. There are 4 videos here. We'll talk about thumbnails, but it's called Daily Artificial Intelligence, which is basically the name in Spanish, the best name I found. You can also see that the visual identity is similar, and here it says videos lunes a sábado, which means from Monday to Saturday. And if you look here in German, which I won't dare to pronounce here, but look how here basically it would be a daily artificial intelligence, but in Germany, right? So in this case, this word in the middle is artificial, here is intelligence. So it really does look similar to Brazilian Portuguese, English, and Spanish. And up here would be daily, right? Videos, believe it or not, is actually videos in any language. And here it's also from Monday to Saturday. And you can see that the cover image, the thumbnail, and the titles are in German. And you can also see here that they're in Spanish. Look how interesting that is. You can see, right? There's already a kind of guideline here. When you go through the work of creating a channel in your native language, you can copy the entire visual identity for other languages as well. Of course, being careful with the words. So the visual identity can be the same, but the title and the thumbnail, when it comes to text, you need to adapt them in the best way possible. And how do you do that? Simply by using ChatGPT, which is what I use, but you could use Google's Gemini. You could use Claude from Anthropic, for example, or you could use Grok, which is from Elon Musk. If you look here, I'll show you quickly. Let's take a look here at this channel. Look, you can see it's a channel. It's called, let me pull up the Maker Academy channel here just to show you. Maker Academy, it's in Brazilian Portuguese. But if you look here, check out what I do. I'm going to scroll all the way up here. Look how interesting this is. Just look. These are some prompts that you can copy. Then you can translate them into your own language. But look how interesting this is. Video title in Portuguese. Then I put the reference here, all right? Then video thumbnails in Portuguese. I put the same reference here, and of course I add the prompt here, right? Then there's the video description in Portuguese, video title in English, video description in English, video thumbnails in English, video title in Spanish and German, video description in Spanish and German, and then it gives me everything right here. Look how interesting. Here I'm already talking about SEO, moving a bit ahead, but you would do the same thing with the titles, right? So, for example, I even have it here. Let me just find it. Let's see if I can find it easily. It was here. Let me find it. Look, Diario, all right? Because I have the diary where I have open conversations. I talk about whatever I want here, right? When I have a crazy idea. And look here. Here's the thing about Spanish and English, you see? Look, let's go. You can see the translation, but the title is here somewhere. You see? I think it was at the beginning. Look, exactly here. Look, I went and wrote here. Look, give me 10 possible translations in Spanish and 10 possible translations in German for Daily Artificial Intelligence, which is my channel in the United States. I chose this name because the Brazilian one is called Maker Academy, which has nothing to do with the names in English, Spanish, and German, since there's a whole story behind that, which I can tell another day, right? But anyway, so I took Daily Artificial Intelligence, basically, and then it gave me the translations in Spanish and in German. And what's interesting, it will pick the words that best fit the dialect, the culture, the daily life there in Germany. And in this case, not just in Germany, but also in Spain. But that's not all, okay, folks? When you talk about an international channel, it's like this. Oh, I have a channel in Brazilian Portuguese. It's not just in Brazil, it's in all the countries that speak Portuguese. English, it's not just in the United States, it's all the countries that speak. And Spanish, it's not just in Spain, it's all the countries that speak Spanish, and the same goes for German. Cool. So, what did I do here then? I took this first one here, look, Daily Artificial Intelligence, and I picked this one. But then what do you have to do? You would have to take this name here and put it into YouTube. So what do? You come here to YouTube, then you type it in the search bar, but you don't just do that. You also click on filter. You see? Look, I'm going to hit enter here first, okay? Then I'll find the filter here. Look, here it is, filters. Then you click here and select channel or canal, depending on where you are. And look how interesting, mine already shows up here. But it didn't show up before I created it, right? And you can see that there isn't anyone else with this name. If there are up to 50 subscribers on another channel and you go in, for example, let's say there was one here, a video and so on, you have to go into the channel, look, 24 subscribers, you go in and check if the person is posting, because if they're not posting, they've abandoned it. Look, 1 year, sometimes it's 2 years. So if the person abandoned it and there are only a few subscribers, you can surpass them and it's all good. Of course, ideally, you should choose one that doesn't exist, right? But I've had cases where I created mine after someone else, but that person hadn't posted for 2 or 3 years. So basically they abandoned it. YouTube should actually delete it, right? Let me grab my notes here. So first there was the matter of the title, right? Then regarding the visual identity of the thumbnails, I already mentioned it a bit, but I brought some more complete material. Visual identity of the thumbnail. Okay, what I was talking about here is visual identity, in this case the wallpaper here, And also, if you look at the icon here, right, the shield, Maker Academy, as I said, it's different because it's the name of my company in Brazil, but the others, look, artificial intelligence, cool. Then if you look here, artificial intelligence, and if you check it in German, I'm not going to risk pronouncing it, but it's right here. So same visual identity. There's no problem with it being the same because YouTube's algorithm will show it to people who speak the language. It won't show a video in German to someone who speaks Brazilian Portuguese because they won't watch it. So don't worry about that. As for the thumbnails, I mainly create them today using ChatGPT, but I have used and still use Flux, which is on the same level as Midjourney. So I use Flux and I use ChatGPT. In fact, if you look at this background here, just so you have an idea, let me quickly show you. Let me switch back to my screen here. If you look here, I created this background really quickly. I was right here on ChatGPT, exactly on the video for today, which is about monetizing an international channel. And look what I did here. Create an image in a 16:9 ratio, which is for YouTube. The image is a mix of the flags of the United States, Spain, Germany, and Brazil. It made this one here. Look how interesting. I also used Sora, which is also from OpenAI. I used the same prompt and it created this one here, which is exactly the one I'm using. And this other one, it made a mix. It created a flag, you know, with everything mixed together, but I ended up not using it, right? Here, in this case for the thumbnails, I use Flux. And I use ChatGPT. Remember that in the mind map, you'll find all the artificial intelligences that I use. But basically, I use Canva here to put in text. I could use artificial intelligence to add text. AI is already getting good at that, especially in ChatGPT. But I prefer to do it here because I have more control over it. And if you look here, check this out. I opened the wrong one here. Hold on, let me get the other window I had set aside. Where is it? Where are you? Funny. I thought I had another one open here. Here it is. Found it. Great. I'm not crazy. Leave a comment below, everyone. If you have any questions, I'll help you out. I'll reply to each of you individually. Okay? But look how interesting this is. The Maker Academy channel. You can see it's in Brazilian Portuguese and that there's a visual identity, which is usually a person on the left or right side. As for the logo, it depends. If there's text here, I put the logo here. If there's no text, I put it here or here. It depends, right? But basically, if you look, check this out. I show up when I do reaction video, which is when I comment on other people's video. I put myself in black and white here, and I also use this style here. Me in black and white, and the video I'm reacting. Here you can also see the text, and basically I have templates, which helps a lot since now I have 12 channels. There are channels with videos from Monday to Saturday, and there are channels that post 3 times a week. So nowadays I record around 5 to 6 videos a day. So I need to be fast. I need to have an optimized process. So I already have the templates here. I just add the elements in. If you look at the one for the United States, it's exactly the same thing. And if you look, there are countless options. Remember that here it's number 3 or 4. Here, look, see? Look, this is already number 3 and it fits 400 images here. So, you know, that's a lot of images. Why? Because I use that YouTube feature where I create 3 thumbnails per video, so the algorithm shows them and picks the one that people click on and watch the most. So look how interesting. It's always this pattern, right? Either me or someone else on the left or right side. In this case, the video, look, it's me teaching how to make the little figures and everything. There's a video about it on the channel. Here's the podcast, which is the Saturday recap. You look here now at the channels that are just starting out. Look, here in Spanish, the only thing that changes is the language, right? Of course, like I said, it's not a literal translation. Put it into ChatGPT or Grok or Gemini, the title in your native language, enter the title in your native language and ask it to translate. So if your native language is English, Ask it to translate into Spanish, German, and Portuguese, for example. Rodrigo, just to make a quick aside, which country besides my own should I choose? I made a video about how to research RPM, which is the amount you get paid, right? Should I choose the highest RPM? Should I choose the language that has the most countries? Speaking it, how do I do that? I made a video about it, okay? I'll leave it at the end or in the cards here that pop up or in the video description, all right? But you can also remind me in the comments. But I recommend English, which is the language that usually pays the most on average, okay? On average. Then German, so German language, and then Spanish. Those are the ones I recommend at the moment. Wonderful. And if you look here as well, the thumbnails are in German. Look how nice this is turning out. Isn't that interesting? Comment below what you think and let me know if you like the visual identity of my channel. Point number 3 here on my cheat sheet is AI translation tools, which are incredibly useful for breaking down language barriers and making communication easier. Basically, look, I use HeyGen, which is currently recognized as the world's leading tool for creating digital avatars that can speak in multiple languages, making it a top choice for professionals. But what's interesting about it, it started out as an avatar creation tool, meaning those characters that move their mouths and speak in different languages. And nowadays, I've even shown videos here on the channel. But just to illustrate, you can create characters, as I mentioned. So here, look, on some of my channels about pop culture, movies, series, you can see that I have characters. Look, Loki, Hulk, and so on, and they move and they talk. Take a look at how cool this is. Welcome to the new era of video creation with HeyGen. Simply type your script to get started. But then what happens? You can also clone yourself. In fact, there are videos here on the channel that aren't actually me. So check this out. It's crazy. Take a look. Look at this video here. Now I said it gets easy, right? This is a clone voice. Normally I record my own voice, but look how cool this is. Hello, Rodrigo Barros, entrepreneur. Your hyper-realistic avatar is ready. Try creating videos with it. Also click the feedback button to share. So what happened? I'm here in a set, and there's also a green screen if I want to change it. I don't actually have a wall with these flags painted on it, right? So I use the green screen too. And what's interesting about it, I can use my realistic avatar when I'm traveling, when I'm sick, when I have a hoarse voice, and so on. I set it up here with different outfits. Look how cool that is. And you can do this on HeyGen. Besides that, you can also create realistic avatars. So check out this avatar here, how realistic it is. And there are videos in my tutorials about tools that use realistic avatars. Take a look at this avatar here. Welcome to the new era of video creation with HeyGen. Simply type your script to get started. So it's really cool. You can use these avatars if you don't want to appear on camera. You can use these avatars on dark channels where you have the avatar and stay behind the scenes, or you can generate artificial intelligence voices, which I'll talk about a bit later. But look how interesting what I mentioned is when you make the video in your native language, you go to create video, then you select translate video. You click here and look how interesting this is. You choose a video here, I'll pick a video here, all right. And then check this out. I'll click here and I can either leave it on auto detect or I can select which language is the original language of the video. So, for example, this video here is in English, right? So look, English, all right. Then which language do I want it to go to? Then I select, I don't know, German, right? Which is German, right? Great. So up here is the original language, which is usually your native language, you see? Then here, German, perfect. Here I leave it on auto detect. If there's one person or more than one person, it will identify them. I click here and it's done. If I want to add subtitles here as well, I can do that too. Look how interesting. I just click here and that's it. So I make the video in my native language. Then I select, oh, I want it in German. I want it in English. I want it in Spanish. I want it in Japanese. I want it in Chinese. I want it in Mandarin. Whatever I want, I can do it here on HeyGen. I'll leave the link in the video description for you to subscribe in case you want to have an international channel. There are many other features here on HeyGen that are important. Now, for example, I want to generate a realistic voice for my videos. Yeah, for my dark channel, that channel where I don't show up. If you want avatars and also want to generate voice, HeyGen can generate voice too, okay? HeyGen here, look, if I select voice A here, check this out. I have a huge library here, my voices, and there are the libraries, the library from HeyGen itself. You click here and you can clone a real voice, right? From someone, from an artist, a celebrity, whatever, And you can also generate a voice from text. So this feature exists in HeyGen. It's a very complete tool. Now the best one, the top, the reference, HeyGen is also top, but the best is 11 Labs. So HeyGen is the best for translation and the best for avatars, and 11 Labs is the best for generating and cloning voice. I'll leave the link in the video description. If you also want to use 11 Labs, it's wonderful, it's very easy. You have here the text speech. In other words, to generate your voice from text. You can also change the voice. You can, for example, if you want to record yourself and then later change it, right? You can change the bass, you can change the treble, or you can take someone else's real voice, clone it or modify it. And you can also add sound effects. So 11 Labs is fantastic. Guys, if you have any questions, I know it's a lot. The video is comprehensive. The video is dense. My phone almost fell here. And later I'll send the mind map and also a complete material of at least 30 pages. Really thorough. It's actually paid content. Paid content that you won't have to pay for because I'm offering it here. Number 4 is consistent. The same days and the same times. This is complicated, but it's the main thing. If you look here, let's go back to my channel. Let's take a look here. Let me open another window because I'm lost. There are too many windows open here, but look how interesting this is. If you take this channel, Rodrigo Barros Emprendedor, for example, let's open YouTube Studio here. No, it's not YouTube Studio here, Rodrigo. It's not YouTube Studio. It's your channel here. If you come here to my channel, Rodrigo Barros Monetização, look how interesting this is. Here there are already videos, right? On average here, see? 7,000, 6,000. Here it went over 25,000 and so on. Cool. But if you look here on a daily basis, you'll see that it's 3 videos per week. Look, 2 days, 4 days. Here I ended up posting 2, see, 6 days, 9 days, 11 days. So here it's 3 videos per week. If you look at my channel, which I even have a manager for, because there are videos with over 2 million views. Look at this, Cinema A, which is my trailer channel. One of my trailer channels, if you look here, 2.7 million, 1.3 million, 1 million, 481,000, 455,000. These videos are a lot of work, so it's about 2 to 3 videos per week. 2 for sure, 3 sometimes. And the videos are more or less in this style here. Look. I'm the one who produces it. Yeah, I made the soundtrack. I created the characters. Look how cool that is. So there are trailers with sometimes famous actors who have never played these roles, but there are also trailers like this one, look, that are completely original story, which is from that game, Metal Gear Solid. Here I added not only the soundtrack, but also sound effects like footsteps and picking up a weapon. You can see that it looks really realistic. And there are those channels I showed here, which are news and tutorial channels. So if you take daily artificial intelligence, for example, it's from Monday to Saturday. Look, at 7 o'clock, 1 day ago, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, 4 days ago. Here, there were, look, 3 videos on the same day, 4 videos on the same day. Look, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, 8 days. So it's videos from Monday to Saturday, but there are days when there are 2 or 3 videos. So, I mean, it's crazy. Right now, I'm making around 170 videos per month. That's a lot, but don't be alarmed. What do I recommend to you? First, 3 videos per week. 3 videos per week is ideal. Why? Because the algorithm, it shows your video, right? It gives that, that boost. Then on the second day, it goes up. On the third, it starts to drop. So you already need to put out another video. You can't leave too much of a gap. Now, 3 videos is a good average. But if it's a news channel, then it has to be every day. You might have to give up your Sunday, maybe your Saturday. But from Monday to Friday, it's news. And look how interesting that is, right? If you take a channel I mentioned here, which is Ankapsu, he makes around 5 to 6 videos a day. But look, I made a video analyzing his channel and he earns like, I don't remember exactly now, he earns more than $200,000. It's crazy. It's really wild. It's a lot of money, a lot of money, a lot of money. But look how interesting this is. Look how interesting. Look, it's very simple, not easy, but very simple. The way he does it, he just puts the news here on the side like I am right now. He puts the news here and comments on it. And he covers news about the economy, politics, investments, technology. Look at the format.
And now we're going to talk about Lula's provisional measure that's going to increase your electricity bill, okay? Yeah, Lula's provisional measure. Lula is making a provisional measure that people are saying here, look how wonderful, it's going to exempt 60 million people.
So you need a green screen, which nowadays you can buy for $10. Super simple. You need a really good micro. Just so you know, it's hidden here. Look, this microphone costs more than 2,000 reais, but there are microphones for 50 reais that you can easily buy. In this case, I forgot my channel is international, right? But it's around, $300 to $400 for a microphone like this. Now, for $10, you can buy a microphone, a lavalier mic, for example, like this one, which will all be listed in the video description. But for instance, this one is cheap and easy to find, even if you want to interview someone. So it's really easy. There's a brand called Boya that's also very good. So that's it. When it comes to consist, we're talking about at least 3 videos per week. And if possible, create your own channel and then create 2 more channels in other countries, okay? No problem. Using HeyGen and 11 Labs. There will be more details in the material that I'll tell you how to download at the end of this video. Now we have point number 5, which is planning so you don't fail to stay consistent. Basically, here's the thing. What if you make videos from Monday to Saturday and something goes wrong? What if you get sick? What if a family member gets sick? I mean, if your wife, your child gets sick, your husband, whatever, what do you need to do? You always need to record 1 extra video. So if it's 1 video per day, record 2. Oh, it's 3 times a week. When you go to record Monday's video, record 2. Then when you record Wednesday's video, record 2. Because when something goes wrong, you'll have what we call a drawer video, which is basically a backup video you keep in reserve. Try to make it a timeless video. News is harder, right? But let's take, what is a timeless video? You work with sales, let's say. So you put something like 5 tips for selling on WhatsApp. Damn, the sales technique, it's timeless. It's very difficult. It takes a lot of time, right? It's a matter of using mental triggers, sales techniques, anchoring, and everything else. Basically, you can keep this video as a backup. For example, if it's an entertainment video, you could do something like, let's say it's about movies and series. You could make a video like 5-time travel movie. That's timeless. They're just recommendations. So you can keep that one as a backup. And which one are you going to release? The reaction to the new Superman trailer that just came out, for example. So you'll vary it by keeping extra videos in reserve with timeless topic. This video, for example, about how to create international channels, it's timeless. Well, not eternally timeless, but I could release it a month from now, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, no problem, okay? So planning is point number 5, and now number 6, to wrap up, SEO, titles, and description. I'm going to show it here on my computer screen to explain. I'll open ChatGPT again. It's already open. I didn't close it. So basically, what is SEO in this case? It would be the description, the title, the video description, the keywords, and the hashtag. Let me grab another video here to show you. For example, let me grab this one here. Look. The video I made was called Robot Gets Scared During Demonstration and Attacks Engineers in Front of the Cameras. Watch that video. There was a robot that just went off. It went crazy and started going after the engineers to hit them, right? The machine revolution, right? And then basically, look, if you look here, the video title, the person will see it, right? They'll see the thumbnail and the title, but the YouTube algorithm will also see the title. So I put here, look, AI robot gets scared during demonstration and attacks engineer in front of the cameras. But I use this prompt to help me improve the title, all right? Then if you look here, video description, suggest a text for me, a more attractive description. Then you put your native language here, taking into account YouTube SEO and click-through rate. Start with in today's video, stay on topic, but don't use the entire title in the video and in the all right. And here too, if you look here, hashtags, check it out, and the keywords here, which basically I put here when it gives me 3 title options because I use one as the title and the other 2 as keywords. So if you look here, it gives it to me nicely. I pick one title and the other 2 I use as tags, as keywords, and so on. Then I also use the video description here, and I use the hashtags too, which I asked for in Portuguese and English, and now I'm going to ask for German and Spanish as well. Then when you come here to upload a video, let me grab a video from my channel. Look, The title it gave me goes here. Remember, it gave me 3, so I put one here. Great. Then I put the video description here. Remember, today's video and so on. Here I added some links, of course, to sell my mentoring, some products I'm affiliated with and so on, which we can cover in another video about other sources of monetization. Here I put the other titles, which are the keywords, and here the hashtag. Why? Title and thumbnail are for people to see, and title, description, keywords, and hashtags are for the algorithm to see, so it can promote your video to the largest number of people who are interested in it, not just random people, okay? These were the 6 points for you to create international channels. I'm the kind of content creator who actually shows the channels, not the one who just says, oh, these are the trends of the year and doesn't show anything, or tells you to create a certain channel but doesn't actually create it, okay? I'll leave the link in the description, the videos I recommended, my mentorship, and I'll also suggest the next video you should watch. Rodrigo, what about the material? Here in the video description and pinned in the first comment, there's a link. You just click it, go to a website, and there you'll find instructions on how to get the materials, okay? See you in this next video here. See you soon.